Hey everybody, Rose Matter here. Welcome to part 7 of my Higurashi When They Cry Let's Play. Okay, this game started out kind of slow. I was enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but wow, oh wow, did the last episode really pick up, like all that stuff with Tomotaki-san and Rena just kind of going a little weird on me. So I am very, very interested to see where it's going to go from here. We are full on in it now, guys, so I hope you are as excited as I am. Oh, okay, we still got a little bit more. I was out of it and couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner except stare blankly into space. Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? No, that's not right. That was someone else who only looked like Rena. Then who could that have been? It was a dreadful feeling, knowing that it was someone else, not Rena. So tomorrow I shouldn't have a problem talking to Rena like I usually do. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded I should just calm down and clear my head, though those thoughts continued swirling around my mind. Finally, I returned to my senses as I heard my mother calling out to me from the bottom of the stairs.
Keiichi! 本屋さんから電話よ。
Bookstore? Can't think of why they'd be calling me. I went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway.
夜分遅くに申し訳ありません。私、沖宮書房の大石と申します。
大石さん？大石さんじゃないですか。
ごめんなさいね。ご両親が出られたので、本屋さんということにしておきました。警察ですって名乗ると、いろいろ気分を害されるでしょうしね。
Oishi-san was, in his own way, rather courteous. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to the police. I brought the cordless phone with me as I dashed back up to my room on the second floor.
夜分遅くにすみませんですね。実は昨日渡した電話番号のメモ、あれ古い番号だった。本当に申し訳ない。これから申し上げる番号を控えておいてもらえますか。
あ、はい。どうぞ。
He gave me the number for his direct line as I wrote it down. I thought that was the end of it, but he began making pointless small talk, and it was pretty hard to hang up.
さて、どうでしょう、前原さん。何か変わったことはありましたか？
I see. This was the real reason. He really beat around the bush there. His adult conversational skills left me slack-jawed.
大石さんはここの地元の方ですか？
ええ、そうです。生まれも育ちも沖宮ですよ。
If he's from around here, he might know.
大石さん、鬼隠しって何のことか知ってますか？
それはですね、人が鬼にさらわれ、忽然といなくなってしまうことなんです。この辺り独特の言い回しですね。世間様で言う神隠しと同じ意味です。
Whereas my friends would say they didn't know when I asked, this older man gave me a direct answer. It made me a bit happy he answered me directly without trying to hide anything.
Hinimizawa は、前原さんにこんなこと言っていいんでしょうか。
もったいぶらないでくださいよ。大石さんが言わないなら俺も何も言いませんよ。
ああ、いやいや、そういう意味じゃないんですよ。ただその気を悪くされないかと思いましてね。実はですね、Hinimizawaはその昔、鬼の住む里って呼ばれて恐れられていたんですよ。
鬼？鬼って地獄にいる金棒を持った
というよりは人食い鬼ですな。里に降りてきて人をさらって食い散らかしてしまう。なんて怖い昔話があるんですよ。
Demon snatching up people is what this Onikakushi really means.
たたりと鬼隠しは一緒に起こるって言ってましたけど、どういうことですか？
I already knew about the mysterious death happening 5 years in a row. But I didn't know there were people disappearing from those same 5 years.
たたりと鬼隠しが必ず一緒に？それは初めて聞きました。そうなんですか、前原さん。
それは俺が聞きたいですよ。レナとミオンが話してたんです。お社様のたたりなら必ずたたりと鬼隠しが起こるって。
Oishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to mind?
前原さん、最初の事件ご存知ですよね。バラバラ殺人。
ええ、6人の犯人のうち1人はまだ逃走中なんですよね。
例えばそれ、逃走中じゃなく鬼隠しにあったんじゃないでしょうかね。
Huh? It was an outrageous hypothesis from Oishi-san. The incident 4 years ago was the particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on it. They staked out various locations and investigated every possible escape route he had. But after 4 years, there wasn't even a hint of where he might be. Unless the police were completely incompetent. Even if it was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it off.
じゃあその翌年の事故はどうです？誘致派の男と妻が一緒に事故死したんですよね。
実はですね、正式には事故死したのは夫だけなんです。妻は死体が上がりませんでしたから。現行法では死体が発見されない限り行方不明扱いなんですよ。
At the time of the incident, with the river below the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers had searched every branch off the main stream of the river for dozens of miles, but in the end they weren't able to find her body. So they're saying that Tomotashi was the one who was killed, and then the girl he was with was demoned away.
でも死体が見つからないだけで亡くなったんですよね。
Tomitake, not Tomotashi. Jeez, I'm terrible with the
鬼
name,
隠
sorry.
しとは違うんじゃないですか？
死体が出ない以上亡くなったとは言えません。法律で定めた年月が過ぎるまで生存扱いなんです。
I'm not sure if it was right to call that being demoned away. The wife is missing. And at least that part was reality.
3年目はどうなんですか？神主は病死、妻は自殺ですよ。
前原さん、実はね、これも全く同じなんですよ。
The wife had supposedly thrown herself into the bottomless marsh deep in the forest around Hinimizawa, meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. So these are all stories that the town was coming up with to keep things a secret, I guess? They simply found her suicide note in front of the marsh. A diver was able to recover a few of her articles, but they weren't able to find a body. The investigative headquarters believed she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere.
これらを鬼隠しと呼んでいいかちょっとわかりませんがね。前原さんの言う通り、確かに毎年一人行方不明になっています。
今年の事件では富武さんの連れの女の人が行方不明。じゃあ去年の主婦の撲殺事件はどうです？誰か行方不明になりましたか？確か犯人は逮捕されたんですよね。
ええ、逮捕されてます。以前に逮捕歴もあるやつでしてね。別件で取り調べ中に犯行を自供してます。
Did he, like, disappear in his cell or something?
ですがですね。犯人逮捕からしばらくして、
Oh, no.
被害者宅の子供が行方不明になったんです。犯罪に巻き込まれたのかどうなのか。現在も捜査してます。
So even if the person, it just has to be someone adjacent to the person who gets killed. It doesn't even have anything to do with whether they've done something in this demon's eye, as long as they're close by. So anybody, so if it's Keiichi who's next, it could be any of his family or his friends.
だって犯人は捕まったんですよね。それともその仲間が？
So I'm guessing because it happens, I wonder if this, because there's so many chapters to Higurashi, if it's going to take over the course of a year, because it happens every year on the date of the Watanagashi. So it's going to be this build-up to, like, who's going to go next.
さあ、多分単独犯だと思います。もっとも今では確かめようもないんですよ。実はその男、取り調べ中に拘置所
Oh my god.
お亡くなりになっちゃいまして。
I didn't say he disappeared. Like, I said he disappeared out of his cell, but he swallowed a spork and choked to death. It's not known whether it was an accident or suicide.
つまり過去5年間必ず死者と行方不明者が一人ずつ出ているわけなんですよね。
そうなります。でね、私も驚いていますよ。こんな共通項には気づきませんでした。
Keiichi, you gotta get the hell out of there, man. You need to move back into the city. You got a year. You got a year to get out. I couldn't believe that this could help lead to the closing of those incidents. It was just something they had in common.
例えば鬼隠しにあって失踪した人には何か共通点があるとか。
Oishi-san mumbled as he seemed to be thinking about it. So I summarized the events.
1年目はダムの作業員、2年目は誘致派の男の妻、3年目は神主の妻、4年目は被害者宅の子供で、5年目は交際相手かな。特につながりはなさそうだし。
1年目はともかく妻とか交際相手とかそういう人が目立ちますな。
Alright, so Keiichi, you just need to not have a girlfriend within the year. It does seem like there are a lot. But then again, yeah, the child's, right? So it could be one of my parents. Family, someone close. It would have really stood out if it was all married couples, except it's not just married couples, but parents and children as well. Come to think of it, I believe Tomitake-san also told me the younger brother is alive and has moved, if I recall correctly.
4年目に行方不明になった子供ってどんなだったんですか？
おとなしい感じの方だったらしいです。年はあなたの一つ上です。
Okay, when I heard child, I thought an actual, literal child, not a teenager.
名前
Satoshi.
は
Satoshi!
サトシさん。
Oh my god.
え？サトシ？
Oh, Satoshi. I was saying Satoshi. I remember that name. Didn't they tell me Satoshi transferred out last year?
あなたの学校に去年まで通っていました。話を聞いていませんか？
Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said my seat belonged to a recent transfer student. Then where I sat once belonged to the one who was demoned away. It was his seat? I recalled the cold sensation that came from that desk. It made my hair stand on end. The string of mysterious deaths. No, Oyashiro-sama's curse. I now knew how it connected to me. That chilling sensation. It was the feeling of Oyashiro-sama caressing the back of my neck.
お社様のたたりか。
Could Oyashiro-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it. And I was scared. That was why I wanted to say it was a plot crafted by man and not the work of a curse. But the more I dug into it, the less likely it seemed. No, the more I dug, the more mysterious it became. If I kept digging, eventually, I'd reach the point where I'd learned something I really shouldn't know. To either be none the wiser or to seek an answer I may regret. Which one would I be happier with? Maybe it would be me next time. My execution could only be delayed for 1 year. That was when I remembered. Rena. Rena said she may be the next victim of the curse.
竜宮レナさんがですか？去年転校されてきた前原さんのクラスメートですよね。
So we're both in
女の子
danger.
には刺激の強い事件ばかりです。怖がるのも無理ないんじゃないでしょうかね。
It wasn't that. She said it might be her next. She said it in a way that made me think she had a concrete reason behind it. So either she's going to be the one demoned away or she's going to be the one to die.
もっと確信じみたものだったように思います。なんていうのか、その。
She was frightened. Her sudden change in demeanor. That someone who looked like Rena but wasn't Rena. That might be unrelated. All the strange things I felt from Rena today came back to me.
そうですか。ではこちらでも少し調べてみます。前原さんも少し竜宮さんの様子に注意してあげてください。
それはレナを見張れってことですか？
そんな意味ではありませんよ、前原さん。お友達が次の被害者にならないよう少し気にしてあげてほしいということ。
No pressure. At that moment, just as my mouth was agape because I was so impressed with his mature, clever way with words. Knock, knock. Uh-oh. A sudden knock at the door sent my heart racing. In an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the end of the receiver.
Keiichi, ちょっとここを開けてくれ。
No, no. On the other side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. What could it be? It's so late.
すみません、親父が来ました。今夜はこれくらいでいいですか？
ええ、夜分遅くに本当に申し訳ありませんでしたね。 何か分かりましたら教えてください。こちらも進展がありましたらご報告しますよ。では失礼します。
ケイイチ、早く開けてくれ。父さん、両手が塞がってるんだ。
What is Dad doing? I had stayed in the same position while on the phone the whole time, so my joints were aching. When I opened the door, I saw my father was standing there with a tray, and happy music again! On that tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea, a fairly fancy spread for our household. There was even sugar and lemon slices on the side, everything you could ask for. This was quite the show of hospitality.
何父さん。それ、何のつもりだよ。
もう、はぐらかすなよ、ケイイチ。入るぞ。
Dad was in high spirits and had a smirk on his face. But for my entire life, I've never seen him act this hospitable. What had gotten into him?
で、何の話をしてたんだ？
I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father. But how could I explain to him I was talking to a detective? I'm assuming he was, this late at night.
別に何も。
Keiichi, you're a terrible liar.
友達だよ。
電話の話じゃなくて、来てたんだろう、今。
What? What?
レナちゃんが。
Uh-oh. Oh, there's that music. What?
来てないよ。
もう、ごまかさなくたっていいぞ。さっきレナちゃんが遊びに来てたじゃないか。
Oh no, came over to play. That's creepy AF.
だいぶ話し込んでるみたいだったから、お茶でもって思ったら、
Oh no.
すれ違いだったんだよ。
I had no idea what Dad was talking about. But a cold sweat dripped down my back.
どのくらい話し込んでたかな。
レナちゃんが2階に上がったのが半くらいだったから、小1時間くらいかな。
2階に上がったの、父さん見た？
Oh god, she's hiding in here somewhere. Ugh.
ああ、見たよ。ケイイチの部屋は階段を上がって奥の扉だよって声もかけた。
Oh god, please don't let there be a jump scare that she's still hiding in here somewhere waiting for me. Rena came to my house about an hour ago. Dad met her at the door and called out to me on the 2nd floor. I probably didn't hear him because I was so focused on my conversation with Oishi-san. Oh, she probably heard me talking to him too. She knows I'm keeping something from her. I didn't reply, but he knew I was in my room, so he had her come inside. Then told her my room was on the 2nd floor. She thanked my dad and went upstairs. Then about an hour passed. She passed... Okay, so she's not hiding in here anymore, but she definitely eavesdropped on me, and she's gonna tell everyone. Oh god, they're all gonna be against me. I'm terrified to go to school now. She came upstairs, and about an hour passed. Then passed by my dad and returned home. Then, after she came upstairs, and until she left, where was Rena? There's only a short hallway between my room and the stairs. Meaning, Rena had, for about an hour, in the hall. No, she couldn't have been standing in front of my door all that time. The door to my room wasn't particularly thick. You could easily hear everything being said inside. All the unsettling and unguarded things I spoke to Uishi-san about began rushing through my head.
お父さん、あまりからかっちゃダメよ。それよりアトリエを片付けて。またこぼすわよ。
Mom yelled at Dad from downstairs. Dad left the tray with me and went downstairs with a disappointed chortle. I followed my dad out of the room with my eyes. I looked down at the floor around the doorway where Rena might have stood all that time. Just now, as I was talking to Ishii-san, with my back turned, Rena was standing a mere 6 feet away the whole time? Oh! Oh my gosh. All that time, in this dimly lit doorway? What did she see? What did she hear? For what reason? As the steam from the 2 teacups ominously wafted and twisted, the aroma of black tea filled my room. Bum bum bum. Oh, okay, new tip. Notice from the police chief. Alright, well let's check this out. Haven't got a new tip in a while. July 1st, 1982. To Departments 1 through 12. XX Prefecture Police Headquarters. Director General XXX. To the Chief Constable and all facility managers. Regarding cases situated in the Hinimizawa village, notice. As cases in Shishibon City, Hinimizawa village has been reported by certain sections of mass media. It has drawn global attention, which is causing serious repercussions for the local residents. This has become a very serious situation. To protect the livelihood and prosperity of the residents, the following notice has been issued. 1. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okinomiya Station, 1982, case number X. Sorry guys, geez, I'm having a hard time talking right now. Hinimizawa Village Housewife Murder, dated June XX. Okinomiya Station, 1982, case number X. Oh my goodness, I have not been having trouble saying Hinimizawa for a while, and now I just can't seem to get it out. Hinimizawa Village student disappears. I feel bad laughing too, like I know this is very serious right now. Dated June XX. 2. Non-disclosure of information. Okinomiya Station, 1979, case number X. Also, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Okinomiya? Please let me know if I'm mispronouncing. And now when I see it, I'm like, I'm going to screw it up. And then I do. Hinimizawa Village Site, Foreman Murder, dated June XX. Shira Station, 1980, case number X. Shirakawa Natural Park Falling Incident, dated June XX. Okinomiya Station, 1981, case number X. Hinimizawa Village Shinto's priest wife disappearance, dated June XX. 3. Requesting self-restraint from each organization concerning the release of sensitive information. Please see attached reference materials 1, 2, and 3. Management XX Prefecture Police Headquarters. Internal line XXXX. Police Affairs Department XXXX. All I got out of that was a lot of difficult Japanese places for me to pronounce. And a lot of retracted information. Okay, so I'm very curious, like, how much longer is this gonna go? There's been a couple of spots where I'm like, this seems like it would be a good place to end the chapter, but yet it continues. What is gonna happen? Like, I just gotta go back to school? Like, none of that happened, and I gotta face Rena? Weariness and a headache. Not a very nice way to start the day.
どうしたの？ケイイチ、今朝は顔色悪いわよ。
I'm like, can I just stay home from school forever?
昨夜は何時に寝たの？
It seemed that my mom had noticed my sullen state. Yesterday, I kept on waking up in the middle of the night. Without a doubt, I felt a presence. I felt the presence of someone standing in front of my door. I told myself repeatedly it was my imagination and forced myself to try and sleep. Except, not being able to stand it, I gathered up my courage and opened the door. Of course there wasn't anyone there. I think I did this 3 times throughout the night. Or maybe I just didn't remember doing it any more than that. Even though I was able to get to the breakfast table without incident, I still didn't feel at ease.
風邪かもしれない。なんだか食欲ないんだ。
あら、ちょっと熱あるんじゃない？どうする？学校。
No, please let me stay home. Technically, I did go to a school, but it was mostly self-study. It wouldn't matter much if I missed a day, would it? And then Rena's gonna be like, oh, and now he's not showing up for school. Something's definitely up. He's probably meeting with that detective. She's probably already told Mion about it. It could have been that I hadn't been feeling well for the last few days because I really did have a cold. If I took some medicine and got a good day of rest, I might be able to greet everyone with a smile tomorrow. Ding dong. Uh-oh. Startled, I looked back and forth between the entrance and the clock. It was 10 minutes later than when I usually met up with Rena. It was Rena.
レナちゃん迎えに来ちゃったけど、どうする？
Keep that girl away from me.
おやすみさ。
Rena was a good girl. She might be somewhat quirky, but she was certainly cute. The lunches she made were delicious and she always looked out for me. Why should I be so scared of something like that? It wasn't Rena's fault. It was probably mine. It had to have been my cold. It just had to be.
休む。ごめん。
じゃあ母さんが断ってきてあげるわね。
Mom headed off to the door. I would have to pass by the entrance to get back to my room. I didn't have the nerve to meet with Rena, so I wrapped myself in a blanket on the sofa and closed my eyes. I was so sleep deprived, I quickly fell into a deep slumber. I had only intended to lie down for a bit, but it was almost noon when I woke up. I called out to my parents, but they didn't seem to be around. On the table, I found lunch prepared and a note. Mom and Dad had apparently driven off somewhere far away. Oh, lovely. Great, leaving me alone, and Rena knows that I'm home too. Fantastic. It likely had to do with Dad's work. This happened every so often, so it wasn't that unusual. They would be back for dinner, but might be a bit late. On the note, it said, "The insurance card is in the cabinet. Take it and go to the hospital." There was also a well-drawn map to the hospital. That's right. I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know exactly where it was. I had a light lunch, although it really was just leftovers from the morning, and just in case went to the hospital. So her thing is like, hey, I know you're sickly, but you need to take yourself to the hospital. Like, I don't know, I'm assuming he'd be biking or walking, maybe taking the bus. I'd be like, if it's just a cold, stay home. I don't know, the last thing I would want to do is drag myself out and go off God knows how far to the hospital. Normally I'd never be here in the middle of a weekday. Just walking around like this had me feeling guilty. It was an odd feeling. Following my mom's map, I took a road I usually never used. After walking for a bit, the hospital sign came into view. Erie Clinic was written rather stylishly on the sign. The clinic wasn't very big, but based on the scale of the rest of Hinimizawa, it was far too grand. There was a parking lot and even a reserved spot for buses. They must be making a mint. I spaced out in the air-conditioned waiting room until it was my turn to be seen.
前原さん、診察室へどうぞ。
After half-heartedly answering all the chatty doctor's questions, he responded with the old, "It's probably a cold. Yep, totally worth it for me to come all the way out here." They gave me a shot and 3 days' worth of medicine. I thought it was a little overboard, but if it would clear away the gloomy feeling I'd been having lately, then it was worth it. I settled the bill and took a quick trip to the washroom. As I was leaving, I overheard a conversation between some elderly people who seemed to be regulars at the clinic. Of course, I had no intention of eavesdropping. If it just wasn't for that word.
やっぱり鬼隠しかいね。
どうかね。まだまだ若い子だけゃ。駆け落ちかもしられん。どこの誰とよ。季節のたびに東京門が来ちゃったろ。
Oh, they're talking about the girl. I don't remember her name. I'm just like Keiichi. I don't remember her name either.
でっけえカメラ持った若者が。
So she's still no sign of her, eh?
あれと仲が良きゃったって話。知られへんの？
Were they talking about Tomitake-san? Oh yeah, that's right, because people don't know that he's dead. I could feel my ears perking up.
そら知らんけど。でも、普通駆け落ちっても仁義あるだろう。書き置きとか辞表とか書かんかいね。
すったらんかかんから駆け落ち言うんね。
Oh, she was a nurse. Okay.
高野さんはしっかり者よ。
Takano-san. Okay.
どこへ行ってもやっていけろん。
So her name was Takano-san? That woman with Tomitake-san. And she worked at this clinic? Oyashiro-sama's shadow was following me everywhere I went. I started listening more closely, but they began talking about fishing, and it didn't seem like they were going to revisit the topic. I gave up and left. Thus, even though I was separated from the daily monotony of school, I wasn't able to escape from Oyashiro-sama's shadow. But of course, Oyashiro-sama was the guardian deity of this place, of Hinimizawa. As long as I was in Hinimizawa... there I go, I'm stumbling over it again. As long as I was in Hinimizawa, I wouldn't be able to escape. Maybe it was because I was walking outside, but my appetite had suddenly returned. I might as well buy a snack with the change from the examination fee on the way home. Contemplating that, I turned onto a familiar street. At that moment, I heard a car horn abruptly honk behind me. I bet it's the police detective. Was I really walking so far to the middle of the road where I'd be in the car's way? I moved farther off to the side, but the horn was still honking at me. I turned around, peeved. Yep.
Konnichiwa.
It was Uishi-san. He stepped out of his car, AC on full blast, and waved at me. Dude, no, man. Last time I talked to you, I got in a lot of shit. So, I mean, hopefully everyone is at school and they won't see this, but someone's gonna see this, and, you know, word travels far in the village.
学校はお休みですか？
ちょっと体調悪かったんで、今日は休みました。お昼を買って帰ろうとしてたところです。
そりゃよかった。実は私、お昼に
I was waiting for him to be like, get in my car, young man.
ご一緒にいかがです？ああ、お体に触るようでしたら構いませんよ。
First, he wants me to go in his car, and now he wants to go out to lunch with me. What is this guy's deal? I was just gonna lie down after going home anyway, and I didn't really have a cold.
地元の食堂だと嫌でしょう。町まで行きましょう。ちょっと走りますがよろしいですか？
Oh, no, great. Now he wants to take me on a long drive.
私、おいしいお店知ってるんですよ。
I'm waiting for this guy. He's like, he's not a detective at all. I'd finally begun to understand Uishi-san's roundabout way of saying things. He probably wanted to talk to me about stuff that would be difficult to discuss while in Hinimizawa. I went with Uishi-san riding in his frigid car. It was almost as if the bright sunlight outside was a lie.
昨夜は遅くまですみませんでしたね。ご家族に送られませんでしたか？
いえ。
I recalled Rena, who had been listening to the phone conversation all that time, separated from me by just the door. Even now, in the brightness of the sunlight, the thought still creeped me out. With a big bump that jolted the car, the road connecting to the city changed from dirt to pavement. My head swiveled back with a sudden realization. That's right. This was where Tomitake-san died.
富武さんの捜査は暗礁に乗り上げています。
Uishi-san spoke while peering at me from the corner of his eye. He's like, hey, little boy, you want to go see a dead body? While we're here.
爪で喉をかき破るという異常さから幻覚作用のある何らかの薬物によるものだと信じているのですが、こういう症状、それも急激に引き起こす薬物はなかなかないらしいんです。もちろん検視解剖もそれを念頭に置いて十分に行ったのですが、手がかりはやはりありませんでした。
漫画なんかによくあるじゃないですか。体内に取り込まれると分解したりして証拠が何も残らないなんて、そんな薬
ありますよ。塩化錯視何でしたっけ？まあ、結構あります。でもですね、富武さんのような症状を引き起こす薬物にはそう
じゃあ
Oh, sorry.
警察は富武さんは叩いて死んだってそう言うんですか？
I guess I'm just like so interested to see what's going to happen next. I just inadvertently kind of skip ahead. I couldn't help but feel that the police were worthless. I just wanted the idea of a curse to be disassociated from Tomitake-san's mysterious death.
悔しいですが今のところは。ですが死因はともかく死ぬ前に何人かの人間に囲まれて暴行を受けたことだけは間違いありません。たたりでなく人間が事件に関わっているのは疑いようがありませんよ。
That made me a bit relieved. We passed in front of the rather desolate, but still busier than Hinimizawa train station. The car pulled into a restaurant parking lot, and I followed Oishi-san into the shop. It was pretty crowded, but there was only adults at this hour. Of course, there wouldn't be children in here in the middle of a weekday.
2名です。タバコは、我慢します。
こちらへどうぞ。ご注文がお決まりになりましたら。
Yeah, I guess this is back in the 80s. I'm just like, the idea of a smoking and non-smoking section in restaurants just kind of blows my mind. Like, I remember when I was a kid, they still existed where I lived, but it's been so long. We were led by a peculiarly dressed waitress to our table. I sat with Uishi-san in the booth. Oh no, is this like one of those, like, cafes where the girls are dressed in costumes?
どうです？このお店のウェイトレス。
You
可愛
perv.
らしいと思いません？
まあどうでしょうね。
このお店ね、いっつも大人気なんですよ。
Oh, and it's just weird because it's like an older guy bringing in a teenager into a place like this. Just
お料理よりも
layers
ウ
about
ェイトレ
of
ス
just
さんがね
gross.
ああ、大石さん、目がやらしいですよ。
うん？そうですか？
Regardless of how the waitresses looked, the food was decent enough. Finishing our meals while talking about some inane topic, Uishi-san's after-meal cup of coffee arrived at the table.
昨日、Hinimizawaの昔話が出ましたよね。
ええ。人食い鬼の里だって言われてたって話でしたっけ？
私もあんまり詳しい方じゃないので、うちのおばあ様に今朝ちょっと聞いてみたんです。
Uishi-san took out the notepad that was stuffed into his breast pocket.
なんでもですね、大昔はHinimizawaは鬼ヶ淵って呼ばれてたんだそうです。
鬼ヶ淵、すごい名前ですね。
今でもその名前残ってるんですよ。神主の妻が受水自殺した沼の名前は今でも鬼ヶ淵というんです。沼の底の底は鬼たちの住む国とつながってると言われてたんだそうです。
Of course, nobody had told me anything about such an ominous marsh.
でですね、鬼ヶ淵は恐れられていたと同時に崇められてもいたんだそうです。
A respect born of fear. I guess you could say it was kind of a deification. A village of inhuman creatures.
鬼たちはある種の仙人でもあったらしいんですよ。例えば不治の病にかかった村人を鬼ヶ淵に運んで治してもらったりとかしたんだそうです。
Even if we are calling them demons, Tengu, long-nosed goblins, or Senin would be a more apt description.
鬼って言ってもそんなに悪い人たちじゃないみたいですね。
でもそこはやっぱり人食い鬼らしいんです。ばあ様に聞いた昔話ではですね、息子を治療してもらった代償として連れてきた母親を食わせろとこうなるらしいんですよ。
息子を治療してもらった対価が自分ですか？それは怖いな。
もちろん母親は息子を連れて逃げます。これをですね、鬼ヶ淵に住む村人鬼たちがですね、全員で追いかけて取り囲んで捕まえたんだそうです。
The entire village, apparently. That's quite a frightening thing to imagine. It's like that kind of cult-like thing that maybe Hinimizawa kind of has to some
母親
degree.
も息子も捕まって食べられちゃったんだそうです。おしまい。
その話矛盾がありますよ。当事者の2人が食べられちゃったんですから、その話が残るはずがありません。
ありゃ。昔話はこういうの多いですよね。
In contrast to the ghastly tale, Uishi-san laughed heartily while sipping his coffee.
でもですね、他の昔話にも結構あるらしいんですよ。鬼ヶ淵の鬼たちが総出で獲物を捕まえに来るというのは。
I recalled that Mion said all the villagers united and fought against the dam construction. I saw similarities with how that part about unification overlapped.
鬼たちの獲物は常に一人で、しかも前もって決められているらしいんです。
え？
That caught my attention. Uishi-san also appeared to be pondering what it meant.
ばあ様が言うにはですね、鬼の狩りの時には絶対に邪魔をしてはいけない。家に閉じこもって布団をかぶってろって言うんです。
つまりどういうことですか？
獲物の人を助けたり
かくまったりして
Oh,
はいけないん
wow.
だそうです。
Damn. Whether that prey is gonna be Keiichi or someone that he cares about.
鬼の狩りを邪魔しない限り村人には気が
I mean, of course, assuming that there's any correlation between, you know, this and his story, but I'm guessing he wouldn't be telling the story if it wasn't connected to, you know, what's gonna be happening in some way.
そういうルールなんだそうです。
Basically, don't help the victims. Pretend you didn't see the atrocities, in other words.
ルールを破ったらどうなるんです？
I'm guessing it's some sort of, like, really, supernatural version of the bystander effect.
さあ何しろ人食い鬼ですからね。
Many parts of that tale caught my attention. Parts of the story he told me overlap with his theory that the entire village was in on the crime. Even if it wasn't the whole village, it was conceivable that the villagers were hiding under the covers and leaving them to die, when there's a group that was on their hunt, wasn't it? I didn't dare speak it.
じゃあ大石さんはやっぱり村ぐるみもしくは村人数人の犯行だと見てるんですね。
前原さんはどう思います？ああ、すみません。コーヒーのおかわりいいですか？
That's what I wanted to know. It seemed that we were both waiting for the other to say that last part. He waited for the waitress to finish pouring coffee before speaking.
去年サトシ君が失踪した頃から私は不審に感じていたんです。
Oishi-san muttered as he watched the milk swirl around in his coffee.
それでサトシさんのお友達、つまり前原さんのお友達グループの皆さんをちょっぴりだけ、本当にちょっぴりだけですよ、調べさせてもらったんです。
Okay, I'm gonna get into the background of my friends. If Oishi-san had said this to me before, I would have gotten angry at him for calling my friends into question. But as I was now, I couldn't.
とてもつまらない話になります。前原さんがつまらないと感じたらいつでもおっしゃってください。終わりにしますので。
Oishi-san was wearing the most serious expression I'd ever seen from him. It was as if he was telling me to prepare myself and listen. There were quite a few things I regretted hearing from Oishi-san, but none of them were as threatening as this. Oh, a little voice inside me was screaming like an alarm. Stop, Keiichi. This was probably the last one. I took a deep breath and silenced that voice. I would not run from the truth.
お願いします。
That was all I could utter. Oishi-san stared into my eyes silently for a few moments. After he was certain I was ready, he began.
1年目の事件の被害者は現場の監督さんだったんですが、事件の数週間前に園崎美音さんと取っ
Okay.
組み合いをしてるんですよ。
So I feel like she didn't mention something like that, although maybe it was more disassociated. She was just like, you know, like her family had an issue with the overseer, but I didn't realize it was her specifically.
何度か
Uishi-san had said before that Mion had defied the dam project oh my gosh, I have trouble with that word. Vehemently. Oh my gosh. Once again, I apologize for my really poor reading today. Well, it wasn't hard to imagine how she'd be if she got worked up.
2年目の事件で誘致派の夫婦が事故に遭いましたよね。現場にはお嬢さんも一緒にいたんです。それが王女聡子さんなんです。
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, really?
え？
Whoa.
貞子って貞子？
Oishi-san's look told me my voice was too loud. I realized it as well and quickly quieted down.
3年目には神主夫婦が亡くなられます
Oh,
よね。
Rika?
そのお嬢さんが
Rika.
古出リカさんです。
リカちゃんが？
4年目に亡くなった主婦はもうわかりますね。北条聡子さんの義理のおばです。
Dang.
当時は聡子さんはご両親を事故で失っていましたので、
Oh my
預
gosh.
けられていたのです。
Poor Satoko.
被害者宅に
I could tell my lips were getting dry. Like, first she loses her parents, and then she loses her step-aunt? Ugh. I didn't even have the wits to keep my mouth from hanging agape, unless she had something to do with it somehow, but I had thought it was nothing but a bizarre incident, one I could easily distance myself from. but clicking and clacking, it had snuck all the way to my feet.
ちなみに4年目に失踪した北条聡さんは聡子さんの実の兄になります。
Oh my gosh, just like I mean, obviously Rika, poor Rika losing, you know, her parents as well, but she lost her brother, she lost her parents, she lost her aunts.
その、
Hopefully, I'm getting the information from this correctly, but goddamn. It took everything I had to finally say that, and nothing from Rena, though. Because Rena is relatively new to the village, so it seems like nothing's really connecting with her yet, but maybe Oishi-san's gonna say something about that. I gulped down a glass of water and once again wiped my face with a napkin. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. But Oishi-san was relentless. Instead of waiting for me to finish sorting out my feelings, he started speaking again. The last of the things I shouldn't have heard.
被害者たちはなぜかあなたのお友達グループに全てつながるのです。
偶然に決まってるじゃないですか。
Oh my gosh, so they're saying that my group of friends might have something to do with the demons? Or the demon, the deity? I'm so confused right now. What?
前原さん、静かに静かに。みんな見てますよ。
Mion? Satoko? Rika-chan? So what if they're connected? You're telling me all of my friends? It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. Rena is different, isn't she? Rena isn't connected with the victims at all.
竜宮レナさんは去年まで茨城の郊外にお住まいでした。まあ確かにいずれの被害者とも直接の面識はありませんが。
He said it in a roundabout way. Is he saying she's also connected?
実は調べてみたら竜宮さんは引っ越しの少し前に学
Okay.
校で謹慎処分を受けているんですよ。なんでも学校中のガラスを割って回ったんだとか。
Damn, Rena?
レナが学校中のガラスを割った？
That same spacey Rena had... I couldn't even imagine it.
3日間の謹慎が明けた後も復学しなかったようです。その間に神経科に通院し、何週間かの間、投薬と医師によるカウンセリングを受けています。
I've never heard of dysotomia. Like, is it like a dissociative thing? I've never heard of that. I feel bad, like I studied psychology, I've never heard of that term before. I hope they explain it. I wonder if it's something like a nervous breakdown. I'd heard that it happens to people who are really methodical or overly sensitive. Neither of those match Rena's easygoing personality.
でですね、そのカウンセリングをした医師のカルテに、レナさんの会話内容が記載されているんですがね、その中に出てくるんですよ。結構。
It. So was I right? Is it like a disassociative thing? Like she has like another part of her personality? I pressed forward carelessly. There couldn't be anything more for me to regret. Oh, you sweet summer child.
出てくるんですよ。お社様って単語が。
It felt like someone's stone-cold hand was caressing my back. Why? Why had Rena spoken of Oyashiro-sama before she even came to Hinimizawa?
お社様っていう幽霊みたいなものがですね、夜な夜な自宅にやってくるっていうんですよ。枕元に立って自分を見下ろすんだって。
My mind froze. I couldn't process what I was being told.
その後、しばらくしてひなみ沢に引っ越されたんです。ああ、そうそう。レナさんはよそ者なんかじゃないですよ。
え？
She's not an
住民票
outsider.
で分かったんですが、
Oh.
竜宮一家は元はひなみ沢の住人です。
Oh, there's that creepy music.
レナさんがちょうど小学校に上がるときに茨城へ引っ越されたんです。
So even if you move away, if you were born there, you're affected by it. Damn. My mind went completely blank. It was similar to the static you'd see on a blank TV station. That's why Rena was so dodgy when I asked her about, like, her past, I guess, for, you know. Whew. My ears began ringing as I lost all sense of comprehension.
前原さん、大丈夫ですか？もう終わりにしましょうか。
Those words brought me back. I couldn't let it end here.
レナのことが分かりました。じゃあその最後の被害者の富武さんはどう
Wouldn't
な
it
ん
be
ですか？
crazy if, like, secretly when Keiichi was very, very young, like maybe a baby, maybe he was born in Hinimizawa. I can't say it, guys. I can't say it. I'm blaming the game. The game has broken me. You know, Hinimizawa. Maybe his parents were born there. And even if your parents are born there and they're connected somehow and they pass it down to you, even if you weren't born there, I don't know. There's so many questions.
誰と接点があるんですか？
Irritated, I let out one final reprisal.
全員ですよ。お忘れですか、前原さん。みんなで楽しくお祭りの晩を過ごしたじゃないですか。何人もの警官が皆さんの楽しそうな様子を見ていますよ。
Now there was nothing I could respond with. I fell silent as my brain turned to mush.
そろそろ出ましょう。
Just so casual, like, yeah, I just, like, ruined your life. Let's go.
ああ、前原さん。お昼の薬は飲みましたか？
I had completely forgotten about the medicine I had gotten today until Oishi-san said that. I got another glass of water and we left the shop after I chugged it down. We got in the car and returned to Hinimizawa via the rough road. I never really paid attention when I was on my bike, but did cars normally shake this much? It was almost as if the road was desperately trying to tell me something. Badump. That big jolt was from the difference in elevation of the road when it changed from cement to dirt. I was certain I heard Tomitake-san scream. I sat in silence, just letting myself be shaken by the car.
お家の前まで送りましょう。今日は病気でお休みだったんですよね。長々とお話ししてしまって申し訳ありませんでした。
Yeah, I was starting to feel better, not anymore.
なんで俺に話すんですか？
I blurted out the question. Really, just blurted it out. I didn't expect an answer.
私、一応確認しましたよね。
All I know is, Keiichi, you gotta get the fuck out of here, man. You gotta get your parents be like, we gotta go. And if they refuse to leave, go live with, like, a relative or something. Hopefully, if you get out in time, you can avoid all this stuff. But maybe it's too late. Maybe he's already in it, and it doesn't matter how far he travels. Damn.
お話やめましょうかって。
じゃなくて、どうして俺に接触してきたんですか？
I understood quite well that Oishi-san was investigating this string of suspicious incidents. But why was he telling me all this? I knew nothing and I couldn't help. Everything Oishi-san spoke of was news to me. First of all, what could I, having just moved here, possibly know? By chance, if there was a reason for Oishi-san to reach out to me, then it would have to be that I was part of Mion's circle of friends who looked suspicious to Oishi-san.
私ね、今年で定年なんです。定年したらばあ様の
Or, like I
引っ越しちゃ
said,
う予定なんです。
maybe Keiichi's family has some sort of connection to Hinimizawa even before they, moved here just recently.
だからこそ在職中にこの事件だけははっきりさせておきたかったんです。
で、大石さんは疑ってるんですよね。みんなを。
Oishi-san didn't really give a response. It felt a little late, but I thought it was his way of showing a bit of consideration for my feelings.
これはこの道30年の勘です。前原さん、危ないのは。
I wanted to reply with, that's absurd, but in my downtrodden state, I couldn't bring myself to say it.
私は今年で定年ですから、来年の綿流しの日にはもういません。だから今年中に決着をつけたいのです。
In other words, he was insinuating that on the next Watanagashi, I might be the victim.
所長からも注意を受けています。一連の事件は個々に解決しているから蒸し返すなと言うんです。これは一種の圧力です。
圧力って何のですか？
ひなみ沢の誰かですよ。着きました。この辺でいいですか？
After some time, the car finally reached the path to my house. I'm waiting for Rena to be outside my house like, you went with him again, didn't you? What did you talk about? The clock read 2 p.m. I was surprised so little time has passed since we ate. It was hot outside the car. The chirping of the Higurashi hurt my ears.
今日の話は全て忘れてくださっても結構です。ですが、私は捜査を続けますよ。お社様のたたりは今年で終わらせます。
I hope so, my dude, because my life is on the line, sounds like.
何かあったら連絡しろってことですか？
いいんですよ。前原さんがどうしても連絡したくなった時だけでいいんです。
I wasn't collected enough to understand Uishi-san's roundabout way of saying it.
ゆっくり休んでください。病気でお休みの時に良くない話ばかりして申し訳ありませんでしたね。
I didn't really give any sort of response.
私はいつでもあなたの味方です。それだけは信じといてくださいよ。
Oh, I want to. I want to believe someone out there isn't secretly planning to kill me.
それじゃあ、失礼。
Or whatever the girls have in mind for me, I still don't quite know. The tires crunched over the dirt road as the car made a U-turn and disappeared into a cloud of kicked-up dust. Once again, how am I going to face them now? Now that I know. I wouldn't say the truth. I still don't quite know everything. But, like, especially that thing about Rena? Like, damn. It felt like I was watching a boat only throw me a lifesaver in shark-infested waters before disappearing into the distance. That was the first time I thought Oishi-san was being unfair. Telling me I was going to be the next victim, then just saying to contact him if something happened? This wasn't a criminal investigation. He was fishing, and I was just the bait dangling off the line. Will the fish be the perpetrator? Or was it really just Oishi-sama's curse? Either way, the bait would be swallowed whole.
畜生。俺、死にたくないよ。
For some time, I could do nothing but stare at the puddle of water left behind by the AC from the car. Like, come on. Man, oh man, this is quite a long chapter. I wonder how much time had passed since I laid down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. Ooh, at that moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mom. Mom was quite the worrywart. Maybe she had called many times, but I just didn't notice it.
もしもし、前原ですけど。
お、生きてた。
Oh no.
もしもし、ミオンだけど、具合はどう？
ん？圭一のお友達ですか？圭一は休んでますけど。代わりましょうか？
え？あ、お父様で？すみません。
And now he's just gotta act like normal, like, just don't let on, like you know the truth.
バカで引っかかってやがるよ。
じゃあ
After our exchange, we both had a good laugh together. Except I was suspicious of her even as we were laughing. Was everybody really involved in the incidents? The fact I couldn't say no saddened me.
元気そうで安心したよ。レナもすっごく心配してたよ。
Oh, I bet she
さ
was.
とこは邪魔はないですわって喜んでたな。リカちゃんは病気でかわいそうですってさ。
チェ、みんなで勝手に大盛り上がりしてたみたいだな。
まあまあ。でさ、ケイちゃん、お見舞いに行っちゃ都合悪いから。
Uh-oh. Yeah, never. Don't ever come visit
お
me.
見舞い？
Uh-oh.
いいよそんな。重病人ってわけじゃないんだから。
And I'm by myself?
うちのバッチャが山ほどおはぎを作ってさ、お裾分けに持ってけって言ってんだよ。だから持ってくね。
おいおい、風が移っても知らねえぞ。
おじさんもレナもおバカさんだから大丈夫。じゃあね、すぐ行くから。
Oh no, are they both coming? She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too? That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess if she was with Mion... Oh boy, what have I gotten myself into? I heard the doorbell 10 minutes later.
どんな感じ？ちゃんと薬飲んで寝てた？
It's just weird looking at them, and I can't fully trust them. I guess that's the whole point of this game, is to kind of like put these thoughts into your head.
そりゃもうしっかりとな。
元気そうでよかった。心配してたんだよ。
悪かったな。 明日にはもう大丈夫だよ。
Mion showed a complete lack of concern for someone who's recovering, and Rena looked like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions.
ちょっとお邪魔しようかと思ったけど、まだ本調子じゃないみたいだね。
そうか?
It seemed my face appeared a bit sullen.
じゃあこれみーちゃんのおばあちゃんが作ってくれたおはぎだよ。
Rena held out a package wrapped in newspaper. There might be about 5 in here. It was quite hefty.
サンキューな。ミオンのばあちゃんによろしく伝えといてくれよ。
その中にね、レナが作ったのも混じってるんだよ。ケイチくんに見つけられるかな。
これ今日の部活を欠席したケイちゃんへの宿題ね。おはぎにアルファベットがついてるから明日回答すること。
お見舞いなのか部活なのかどっちかにしろ。
元気元気。これなら明日は大丈夫そうだね。
この騒ぎで熱がぶり返したらどうしてくれんだよまったく。
みーちゃん、あんまり騒いじゃ悪いよ。もう行こう。お家の人にも怒られるよ。
Okay, this is the important thing. Keiichi, don't say you're by yourself. Both of them thought my parents were home. It was because the entranceway was a mess.
そうだね。もう行こっかね。
Just let them go, don't say anything.
そうそうケイちゃん。
なんだよ。
Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Oh no.
何食べた？
Oh, Jesus, here we go. The sudden question startled me and I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. It's like they were being taken over by the, like, they're speaking normally, but it's this, Oishi-sama who seems to know everything. So even though they would have no idea, it's like they're just being possessed momentarily. I had never seen her like that. It was a highly unsettling visage. But why is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so inane it was almost meaningless. The way she said it, it was almost like she didn't even care about what I ate.
表で食べたよ。
She must have suspected that I was with Oishi-san. And then Rena, like, is Rena in on this too, or is she... Anyway, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, then they'd read too deep into it, so I tried answering as quickly as possible. Except, contrary to the efforts I'd made, there was a pause before they replied. Oh, they're both, yep, they're both.
ケイチくん、お昼は外食だったんだね。
So here's my thing is like, are they always, like, is this even a possession, first of all? Is there this within them at all times, or does it happen momentarily and all the other times they're just their normal selves? The glimmer from Rena's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew. That's how it looked to me.
どう？美味しかった？
なんでそんなことを聞くんだよ。
Mion was speaking in an unusually low tone, almost as if she knew I had eaten at that restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should have been in school at lunchtime. There was no way they could have known where I was. And...
渋いおじさまとご一緒だったみたいだけど。誰？
Okay. Flop. The package with the mochi I was holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale.
へえ。ケイチくん、それ誰？ひょっとして、この間の人かな？
Kinda. I'm starting to kind of learn her little phrases. I could feel the back of my throat going dry. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything?
なんでそんなことわかるんだよ。
It took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking.
さーてね。おじさんにわからないことはないからね。
Mion sneered knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever.
で、ケイちゃん、何のお話をしてたの？ずいぶんと熱くなってたみたいだけど。
みんなの話はしてないよ。
Oh, dude, Keiichi, you're making this worse.
ミオンともレナとも関係ない。
What an odd thing to say.
聞いてもないのにレナたちの名前が出るなんて。
Exactly. Dude, Keiichi, you're a really bad liar. Rena's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside me. I dug my own grave. My heart was throbbing so much it felt like it was going to explode.
ま、何を隠れてやろうとも、おじさんにはすべて
And
お
of
見
course,
通しってこと。
they know that I'm by myself right now, so...
それだけを忘れないでくれればいいかな。
I couldn't even shake my head. It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly.
ケイチくん、顔色悪いよ。
Oh, it's creepy because she's smiling when she's saying that.
もう横になった方がいいと思うな。
そうだね。私たちはもう帰ろう。
And she's just talking in her normal voice again. Whoa! As if nothing had happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. Whoa. Okay. I hadn't moved a muscle since I dropped the package of mochi. As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare, as if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was about closed, it opened again slightly with a sudden creak, sending my heart racing once again. Oh, oh, I was thinking maybe it was going to be his parents coming home, but nope. A single eye peered in through that narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish gaze peered at me once again.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。
Oh my gosh.
あ、
明日、学校休んじゃ嫌だよ。
Oh my god. Thud. The door closed. I wasn't able to move a muscle even after their low laughter died off into the distance and silence once again enveloped the room. Coming back to my senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew what Oishi-san and I talked about? Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Thinking about it all now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Oishi-san met me. Just as Mion said, I couldn't hide anything. Then, what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Oishi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that it was unnecessary. What was it that Oishi-san talked to me about? The incidences involving Oyashiro-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases, but were connected as a whole, as well as the fact that there were maybe multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinimizawa. I'm really hoping I'm gonna have a better time in the next episode saying that. No, more precisely. That Mion, Rena, Sadako, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against?
何バカなこと考えてんだよ、俺。
I hit my own face hard enough that it let out a loud slap. If only that would wake me from this nightmare, but for some reason it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down, calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mio knew I was eating lunch with Oishi-san was probably because someone from Hinimizawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mio when I was there. That made the most sense. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinimizawa. It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. That's it. That has to be it. Thinking about it that way, it was the same with Rena. I was just being strangely ambiguous about when I met with Oishi-san, and Rena was just correcting me on that. Dude is deep in denial. That's when I was bewildered by the change in character from the usual mild-mannered Rena, and was just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up like a tangled mess of spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out of my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. Oh yeah? Red sauce? Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think they're a good bunch of people. When I just moved here and couldn't make heads or tails of everything, they were really kind to me. Rena was really kind and always looked after me. As long as that strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head, she was pretty cute. Mion is also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her. And talking of not getting bored, rambunctious Sadako was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with others. Arika-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They're my friends. But after hearing of the better untold secrets of Hinimizawa from Oishi-san and Tomitake-san, when I was told about Oyashiro-sama's curse, things started getting crazy. Then hearing from Oishi-san that Mion, Rena, Sadako, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. After that, everyone changed. That's right. It all started getting weird after Oishi-san told me all that strange stuff. At that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. I shouldn't even have asked Tomitake-san about the past incidents on the night of the Watanagashi. If I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity. If I just hadn't. That's right. So that's why they blank killed, I'm guessing? That impudent outsider speaking to the likes of me after everybody went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. They probably blank Oishi-san as well. Or they'll probably, sorry. For trying to unearth what everyone was warning me was better left unburned. That's really weird. That's weird that they, censor that. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course a guy like that is going to be... once again, I'm going to say killed. Both Tomitake-san and Oishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinimizawa. Those guys should just fall to Orishiro-sama's curse and just die. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. 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 Oh no, has he been taken over? Oh boy, that's creepy. I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling like I had just gotten up, but the ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'll go to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. It'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them after all.
あ、そうだ。おはぎ食べないと。どれがレナの手作りか当てないといけないんだよな。
I remember the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our club did deliver. That was something else. Or delivery, sorry, not deliver. I picked up the package I dropped on the floor and headed into the living room. Sorry, I'm still a little spooked, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little creeped out. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh, this was quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were letters written from left to right on the newspaper, A, B, C, D, and E. Now then, they said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They smelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena's had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi that was made very neatly. So well that, just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out.
この一個がレナのか否かが勝負の分かれ目みたいだな。
Calm down and think even harder. Mion had said her grandma made a ton of them and was told to give some out if I remembered correctly. So that means 4 of these were from that large batch. Then what about Rena? She probably only made one, so she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning the one Rena had made was this one, E. For a moment I thought it may have been a trap Mion laid as she knew I'd pick up on it, but that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it, but since she said Rena made it, it probably wasn't a trap.
よし、お茶も準備 OK。
And he's just acting like
まずは
everything
ディフェンディング
is
チャンピオンの
totally
ミオンのばあちゃん
fine.
からだ。どれ？
Not bad. Smooth bean paste and soft, chewy texture left little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also accentuated the experience. This was an exquisite piece of work. It feels weird not having music behind it. Like, I feel like this is something that should have, like, the club activity music behind it, but it's just totally silent. Now, how about Rena's? The creation was so delicate, one would think it was a high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But, well, first a bite. This was quite a difficult one to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same, so there was little difference in flavor. What was different was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the deciding factors would be presentation and volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena the challenger with a size you just couldn't get enough of. I'd only had one bite of Rena's. I would probably have to wait until after I was done eating to make my decision. Maybe there was something hidden inside that could cause an upset. Uh-oh. It seems my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. Uh-oh. It didn't feel like something edible, so I reached in with my fingers and grabbed it. What? Uh-oh. What was this? What? What? What is it? Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. It slammed against the wall, causing the bean jam to splatter. Then after sticking for a moment, it slid down the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that performed such a vile act. Then I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. First I thought it was a hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was still quite long. And it wasn't this short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. Oh no, is it like a thumbtack? Like what Sadako puts on the, or like a needle? She was trying to hurt him. It was thick enough to roll around on my tongue. There was a bit of metallic sheen on one end. Yes, there was a hole for where thread goes through like it was a sewing needle. That's right. Oh my gosh, it looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well. Quite sharply. It really did look just like a sewing needle. Huh? What did I mean by looked very much like a sewing needle just a bit ago? I couldn't answer. But a voice inside me already knew, and let me know by chattering my molars together. I couldn't stave off the terror welling up inside me. Suddenly I tasted something metallic and felt a prickling pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my finger in the back of my mouth and felt around to see if it was bleeding. Suddenly I felt the urge to vomit. A sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. I clasped both hands over my mouth, and after writhing in agony, I was somehow able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was throbbing intensely. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed in with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat. Plop. Splort. I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. The geometric patterns of the scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed out into the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. That's going to be a weird thing to explain to his parents, why there's just a bunch of mochi splattered all over the place. I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or warning or reminder, nothing as simple as that. What had happened in Hinimizawa? What is happening in Hinimizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. Where did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion and others, they consider me an enemy. And they thought I should just die. I won't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep as I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless marsh. Okay. Holy crap. Holy crap.